Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So why SIEM necessary? As I said, we have breaches, we have investigations, internal threats, external threats, who's accessing what. That's necessary for us to really understand. Um, Attackers are smart and untraditional security tools doesn't suffice. Yes. Um, so mitigate sophisticated cyber attacks. Yes. Um, Manage increasing volumes of logs and multiple sources. Absolutely, because the amount of scale of logs which you can start storing in your SIM solution sometimes might reach even 500 GB per day, right? If you really want to store, and then again the stringent compliance requirements for which you are supposed to be liable for, right? So again, the most important thing is to really help the SOC analyst investigate as far as in the timelines, when a breach or when an internal investigation really happens or an external investigation really happens. So example for say that you are, so suppose you see a typical pattern of attack where um, you are seeing a lot of users accessing a lot of, say suppose newly created domains in your proxy logs. So your proxy log says that hey, I see a large number of users going to a particular IP address or a website which is newly created, like a fairly newly created, which is like a day or two old, and that should be raising a red flag for us, right? Why so many users are going and contacting a fairly or a newly created domain, and is it a prelude to an attack, or something really happened in the backend, or somebody users got a phishing email where they are clicking on this link and they are getting redirected to this particular website which is newly created, and that's how you'll start an investigation. If you don't have the logs, or if you don't have the proper logs in place, you'll never know how many users went, and you'll not be able to quickly identify and start investigating who those users are, and then check your email logs to understand whether they got a phishing email which is common, or some type of email which is common to all these users, and start investigating on the website where they're going to, right? So that's how you'll try to really connect the dots, and then use SIEM for further investigation, right? um, so SIEM has the ability to create alerts, has ability to create reports, has the ability to correlate data between multiple data sources, and allows you to pinpoint and say that, hey, you know what, at this point of time I think the this attack really started, and I think this is from this day onwards we should look for certain pattern of activity, right? um, so SIEM, very very necessary, if you really want to excel in as a SOC analyst role, because if you understand SIEM, or the way logs are structured, the way what logs to look for, you might be good at understanding an attack, but if you don't know how to spot it in the logs, it will be very difficult for us to kind of investigate further, right? So yeah. Yes, Aru, go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is like, as you see in market, there are many SIEM tools are available, right? So which is the best tool?
Um, See, as of now, there are multiple tools. Okay, Splunk is one. You have your
This
QRadar.
QRadar
Uh,
is there.
yeah,
Yeah.
QRadar is there. You have your Alien Vault is there. You have what else is there? You have ArcSight is there.
Archive, yeah.
Then what else you have? Yeah, I mean, like there are tools which, and there are some sophisticated in-house tools as well for every organization. Like Semantic uses their own in-house tool to provide it to customers. The previous company where I was working, they also provided their in-house tool to provide to customers, right? ELK, Elasticsearch, Elastic, Kibana, Elasticsearch, and Logstash. ELK Stack is another open source SIM solution which is vastly been utilized now, right?
Okay.
So I mean, like, I'll tell you what, um, I don't want you to focus on a tool,
Okay.
but focus on how do you utilize the tool,
Okay.
right? So,
Got it.
if I give you a BMW and if I give you a Maruti, do you think your driving will change? No, you know where the clutch is, where the brake is, where the accelerator is. Probably the fit and finish, the layout, the seating position is different from Maruti to BMW. The power ratio to power to mileage ratio in the BMW to Maruti is different, but that doesn't mean that both are not cars. Both are cars.
Correct. But
Both do
both
the
has
same functionality, but one is expensive, one is very cheap,
cheap.
right? So that's what I want. So you can learn tools. So what my goal is not to teach you a tool, but to teach you how to utilize a tool, what does the tool does, and how do you utilize a tool from your security understanding of it, right? Not to go by what tool is better in the market. So let's say suppose, probably I'll want to go off the type topic here, but if you're going and attending interview, they said, Splunk. Yeah, you might say Splunk or QRadar, ArcSight, whatever that is, or for Alien Vault for that matter as well. So you might say, yeah, I understand Splunk, but I the focus for me really is to understand how do I use Splunk to understand an investigation or understand an attack, or investigate attacks, right? That's where I'm trying to focus for. And
Correct.
if you're focusing on there, the interviewer initially would try to ask you, how do you search for this type of log, or how do you identify this logs or this attack, right? So let's say suppose, if how do you say multiple login failures in a Windows environment using SIM solution, right? The underlying infrastructure or underlying log would be your event code is 4625 in Windows log for a failed login attempt, right? And this will not change for ArcSight, QRadar, Splunk, Alien Vault, any other tool.
Okay.
You'll have to say that I will look for index is equal to this, my threshold is XYZ, and number of failed user and the usernames by field name. And this is exactly how you'll search in any tool for that matter. You need to understand what you're searching for, why you're searching for, and what is that you are trying to gain out of by searching this type of logs.
So we need to write query also in that.
Yes, so every tool will be based on a query or by search parameter. So again, as I said, you need to search logs in your SIEM. So either it provides you a search bar to search something, or it can give you a field name. So for every time, what you need to do is, see, the first time you'll use an SIM solution, it will be overwhelming. You'll feel that I don't know anything in this tool. But relax. Within 2 to 3 hours, you'll get a hang of the tool. It's that easy. It's easy. It's not a hard thing to get. So the only thing which you need to understand is really understand what is a raw log. Like look at the raw log, like what the raw log is coming in. Then look at the tool, what it's telling you, like what fields it gives you. Let's say suppose my name is Kishore. So which field name does the word Kishore appears in? Then you'll see, okay, the field name is name or username is equal to Kishore. So now you'll try writing username is equal to Kishore, or username is equal to star. Like star is in a universal, say that show me everything for the field username, and it will start showing you all the usernames for that particular field name. User is username, right? All the users which are available in that particular log for that particular day. And that's how you slowly, gradually understand or get a hang of how the tool is looking at the data and then giving it back to you. So in a typical SIEM environment or say SIEM tool implementation, everything is tied by a field name, right? So if you fill out an application, how do you think your user name is given? First name, last name, and middle name, right? Your age. So if you're writing in the form itself, you have so many field names. So age is a field, address is a field, and similarly SIM will also do the same thing. It will also record all those things as a field names, right? And then you need to understand what the field names are, and then you need to really understand what those field names are, how the logs are written, and then and search for those logs. And I'll show you how do we do that. We'll also do a rundown together, probably tomorrow. Install this Splunk instance, and then I'll give you a demo of this Splunk instance, and then I'll show you in a manner which I learned myself, right?
Okay.
So I think 2012 I learned I think I worked on ArcSight, and after that predominantly I worked on Splunk. So 2013, I think first time I used Splunk, And then I think it took me what 7 to 8 days to really understand what Splunk is providing. And from there on, it was like, you like the tool and you start playing with that tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it's all about field names, the data which is in the field names, and then you trying to look at the raw log and trying to understand what data is provided in that.